First, Madam Chairman, close to 20% of Fairfax County's population is of Asian or Pacific Island descent, with Korean and Vietnamese being two of the 5 most spoken languages in our community. As COVID-19 spread across the United States this past year, reports of anti-Asian discrimination, racism, hate crimes, violence, and scapegoating have sadly increased nationwide. Fear in our Asian communities has mounted since last week's murder of 6 Asian American women in Georgia. These acts are horrifying and deeply disturbing. Anti-Asian racism is baked into our history, sadly. The Chinese Exclusion Act and the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II are just 2 examples of government-sanctioned discrimination. I wanted to take a moment today to let our entire community know that in Fairfax County, we hear your concerns and anxieties and believe that any acts of racism against the Asian American community are unacceptable. In Fairfax County, no matter where you are from, you are welcome in our community. Moreover, it is necessary to say, though unfortunate, that Asians are not more likely to have or spread COVID-19. Diversity is our strength in Fairfax County, and we stand by our commitment to One Fairfax. I recently convened a task force on equity and opportunity to look towards the systemic causes of inequity in Fairfax County, and the board will soon be working with the county executive on their recommendations to create an even more equitable future for all. Finally, I want to remind everyone that should you see a crime of any sort, especially related to this, please don't hesitate to call the police, 911 if it's an emergency, or our non-emergency line, 703-691-2131. As a further reminder, we do not ask for immigration status when you call, and I want to thank our police for also messaging out to the community soon after these events occurred to give particularly our Asian American community peace of mind that they are safe in Fairfax County. Therefore, I move the attached resolution be passed condemning acts of anti-Asian racism and violence in Fairfax County, and I want to read it for the record. A resolution condemning anti-Asian American hate. At a regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors of Fairfax County, Virginia, held electronically due to the state of emergency caused by the COVID-19 pandemic on Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021, at which a quorum was present in voting, the following resolution was adopted. Whereas nearly 20% of Fairfax County population is of Asian or Pacific Islander descent, and whereas the Asian American population of Fairfax County makes significant contributions to the cultural, educational, and economic fabric of our community, and whereas in Fairfax County we know that our diversity is our strength, and whereas the adopted One Fairfax resolution commits the county and schools to intentionally consider equity when making policies or delivering programs and services, and whereas helping all people reach their highest level of personal achievement is vital to our county's successful ability to compete in the global economy, and whereas no race, nationality, or ethnicity is responsible for COVID-19, and whereas incidents of anti-Asian American violence have increased since the beginning of the pandemic, and whereas the use of anti-Asian terminology and rhetoric related to COVID-19 have perpetuated anti-Asian stigma, and whereas a Pew Research Center study found that 1/3 of Asian Americans nationwide report being the target of racial slurs or scapegoating since the pandemic, and whereas fear in our Asian communities have mounted since last week's murder of 8 people, including 6 Asian American women in Georgia, and whereas President Biden issued an executive memorandum on his 6th day in office committing the federal government to condemn and combat racism, xenophobia, and intolerance against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in the United States, now therefore be it resolved that Fairfax County condemns all bigotry, harassment, and hate violence directed at Asian Americans in our community, and therefore be it resolved that Fairfax County commits to expanding awareness of these incidents and protecting Fairfax County's vulnerable residents.
You've heard the motion.